Are you a graduate with no experience, or you are a fresher? Are you a graduate with multiple years of experience in functional area and you want to get into SAP career? When you go and search naukri.com or monster.com or any other website which are giving details on the jobs, you will see one role very often: SAP End User. Today in this video we will talk about what is SAP End User role, where this role exists, what kind of roles and responsibilities will be there, what kind of salary package will be there, and how to get this job. Hello everybody, this is MVK. You are watching MVK Career Coach channel. If you are not subscribed, kindly subscribe now and click the bell icon for more videos like this. To understand SAP End User role, we got to do a little bit more study on the companies as well. In general, you might have seen lot of industries in the world. One such example will be retail companies. Let us take example of Reliance Digital. Reliance Digital as a company wants to implement SAP. Guys, I am using a word called SAP implementation. I prepared another detailed video about SAP implementation. Please go through that, you will get more details. In nutshell, what is SAP implementation? We are just getting this SAP product installed and set up for the particular customer. Now going back to Reliance Digital. Reliance Digital might be using a typical local software wherein all their department functions are broken. Meaning, whatever happening in the finance department may not be knowing to the HR department. What is happening in HR department may not be knowing to the sales department. What is happening in the sales may not be connected with the finance department. This is the one of the common problem. That is the reason why ERP was invented. Of course, SAP ERP is one of the primary one which will cover this. And they might have taken a decision that yes, we would like to go ahead and implement SAP. Fair enough. They want to implement SAP. When they want to implement SAP, usually the decision will be taken by the senior folks. CFO or CEO will take a decision saying that yes, we need to have a product. We need to have a SAP product. Once they decide, obviously they will invite somebody from the market to implement. When they say somebody, the implementation partners. You have TCS, you have Wipro, you have Accenture, you have IBM, you have PwC. Lot of companies are there who will do the SAP implementation. Fair enough. Now the implementation partner or IT service provider will come and will initiate the implementation. Once they start implementation, they will say a lot of things, and that is where the trouble starts for Reliance Digital. You have various departments, various people working in these departments with high quality and good experience in those functional areas. But they know SAP? No. The challenge here is the vendor will come and mention that, hey, this is not possible. Only the one which is mentioned in SAP only possible. And they may talk about a lot of things which you can't say no for it. That is the reason what happens. Any company who want to implement SAP, usually they will also get champions within their organizations. They will recruit somebody with SAP background. Within the finance department, they will say that, hey, I need an SAP end user who is good in SAP and also have very good knowledge on the functional areas. What do you mean by that? In typical finance department, you might have a general ledger, accounts payable, account receivable, asset accounting, all these functions will be there. They will expect somebody who is accounting background. Either you may be a BCom graduate or MCom graduate or a chartered accountant. They will mention that, okay, we need this qualification people with so-and-so experience and should have experience in the SAP side. Have hands-on experience on SAP. So the expectation here is you will come and join with them and handhold the vendor so that the target objective or the entire goal of SAP implementation is met. Usually they will recruit for every department. This is very common practice. Sometimes within the department they will train SAP somebody and they will make them as SAP end user also. That is also possible. But usually, hence they are investing a lot, they will go ahead and recruit somebody with SAP background as SAP end user. So what is the key role and responsibilities of SAP end user? They need to monitor SAP implementation from a department perspective. Number 2, make sure whatever business functions which are there in that particular department are mapped in SAP. Make sure they are a point of contact between the vendor and the department. And finally, make sure SAP implemented properly. So all these roles and responsibilities will be taken care by SAP end users. Of course, they will give a new tag there called as SAP core user. In implementation terminology, the SAP end user will become a core user. Then only he will take all these responsibilities. Otherwise, the SAP end user role becomes thin. That means like you are just using application, then only you are called SAP end user. Don't get confused. The person who uses SAP in general is called as SAP end user from a department point of view. But when somebody recruit, they will recruit as a core user, as a subset of end user. So you are joining their department as an SAP end user, and within the program you will be SAP core user. You will be given various designations. You should not get confused with the function and the position. You might have called as finance manager, but on ground or within that particular project, you might be an SAP core user as well as SAP end user. That depends. Now, to conclude, who is SAP end user? As a SAP end user is the person who will be doing the business transactions in SAP at the customer location he is nothing but SAP end user. Who is SAP core user? A person with SAP background usually, who is ideal SAP end user. This particular person who will participate as a member in SAP implementation is SAP core user. Okay, now let us get into the details of what is the salary package. See, ideally, if you take anywhere, if you're joining a financial manager in finance department or purchase manager in a procurement department, if you're paid, let's assume that 10 lakhs per annum, then if you join as a SAP end user or with a tinge of called as SAP core user, then you will be paid somewhere 15 to 20 lakhs. So there will be at least 50 to 100% variation from functional to function plus SAP. So you will have very good advantage joining as an SAP end user or core user in any SAP SAP customer side. So we spoke about the roles and responsibilities. We spoke about salary. For the fresher, usually the fresher, you will get anywhere between 3 to 4 lakhs. And for the lateral, that depends on the band. If you are joining as an executive, you will have one range, probably 8 to 12 lakhs. If you are joining as a manager, you will have somewhere 10 to 15 lakhs. If you are joining as a senior manager, you might have 15 to 25 lakhs. That depends upon the grade. So, how to become SAP end user? See, there are two ways how you can become SAP end user. Number one, SAP itself offers training on the business processes. You can check training.sap.com and you can register those business processes related to your function. If you are in a procurement department, try to learn which are related to the material management. If you are in sales department, try to learn something which are related to the sales and distribution area. If you are in finance, try to learn which are related to the SAP FICO, finance and controlling. If you are in production department, try to learn in SAP production and planning. If you are in HR department, try to learn SAP success factors or SAP SCM. If this is expensive for you, you can go and check a lot of local institutions. They charge somewhere 15 to 25,000 max, and they will help you to get trained in these particular business processes. Please make sure all the business processes are covered, you have system access, and you are doing hands-on practice on the system. Usually it will be in the range of 2 to 4 months. With that you can get it. So to conclude, a person with no experience can learn and can join as a trainee, or a person with 5 or 3 or more years of experience in the functional side, they can learn SAP either way, and they can join as SAP end user or core user. Hope this video is useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel and please share this particular video to all needy people. Thank you once again.